Hello everyone and welcome to this new webinar session. Today we are going to talk about the Master in Luxury Management and Guest Experience. So just before I introduce the panel on the line with us today, just a few rules for you to navigate the session. So you won't be able to use your microphone or your camera. We can see you on the line. To ask us questions, there is a question box at the top of your screen. You can ask questions at any point during the session, but we will answer all of them at the end during the Q&A. So there will be about 30-35 minutes presentation, and then we move on to the Q&A, and you will have another 20 minutes to ask as many questions as you like. So don't worry if we don't answer straight away. We'll come to it at the end, or you might even get the answer during the presentation. So let's move on to our panel member. So we have the program director, Dr. Nicoletta Giusti. Hello, Nicoletta. How are you today?
Fine, thank you. I'm very happy to be here, Laurie.
We also have Jacquie Lutz on the line with us today, Head of Career and Internship. Hello, Jacquie.
Hi, Laurie. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our presentation today. We're very happy to be here.
So Jacquie will come in second part of the presentation to talk about career and internship. And we also have a current student, Marine. Hello, Marine, how are you?
Hello, Laurie. I'm great, and you? I'm glad to be here today with you.
So you can ask questions to Nicoletta, Jacquie, or Marine if you want to know more about the student life or her own experience. So without further delay, I will pass on to Nicoletta to talk about the program.
Okay. So I would say, first of all, welcome again. And why would you have to attend a master program? Because it's compulsory nowadays, I would say. The job market is becoming, and was already becoming pre-pandemic, and now after pandemic it's even more, let's say, what I call difficult to navigate, full of sharks. Not sharks instead of, you know, speaking of sharks like hurdles or dangers, but other people, experience and with good profiles and with very nice skills and very much committed, who are aspiring at entering exactly the same luxury world that you might want to be willing to integrate. So having a simple bachelor, you might get in perhaps from a basic position, let's say, but then it will be extremely difficult to go on in your career. So why would you have to wait, get the skills now? Also because between a bachelor and the master program, there is a huge difference, and the main difference is that you acquire critical skills. In a bachelor, you acquire contents and the first step in method, but then in a master, you are really led to use your brain fully and to get another point of view and to see things in a different way. So this is the goal of a master program, that will bring you to the job market with with a very, I can say, high competitive advantage compared to the other candidates. And how can you achieve this competitive advantage? Through our Glion approach, which consists in teaching and learning techniques that are quite specific and peculiar and new. Personally, I use the reverse class, and all the teachers in the program in the luxury master program, almost all of them, either they are academics, established academics, or they're coming from the professional world in luxury, so they have experience in the real world. We will see it a little bit after. And we provide a personalized approach, as also my colleague from the Career Services, Jacquie, will confirm you. We take care of each student, and Marine, maybe she can say, because she's now in semester 2, so she knows very well and since months, the way I lead my program and the way all the teachers develop a really personalized and specific and let's say warm, I would say, relationship with the students. And of course, we do it in order to develop managerial and leadership skills in the Swiss way, which includes a little bit of practical group works. Marine also had a practical part. Maybe she can tell you a little bit about it in the course that used to be called Gastronomy, Fine Wines and Spirits. And of course, we help the students acquire this practical side, which is the typical of the Swiss education. Also, thanks to the business trip and to some research projects that they do during the year, and also they have the possibility to choose at the end of the studies when they have to select to choose internship or a business research project that is a research also on a specific sector, on a specific topic that can be conducted also in accordance with some companies. So we use a beautiful and broad array of different techniques in order really to provide you the best students experience ever. Typical of the Swiss education, typical of the School of Glion, because we do believe that in order to form good managers, you need to form good persons, good people before everything. The master take place now into two different campuses, in Glion and in Bulle, because of course this is also another way to enrich the experience. Glion is the beautiful sightseeing that you see in most of communication, on the lake, kind of ideal place for a 007, maybe a helicopter arrival.
Have we lost Nicoletta?
It's and champagne and dinner, etc. It's our flagship place. It looks like a hotel, etc. But because of the sightseeing, but we want to provide also a different experience for the students, warm and more centered on the academic life. So that's why we chose to go also to Bulle. Because in Bulle it's flat, it's less difficult also because sightseeing is very beautiful, but we are in the middle of the mountains, so sometimes it's a little bit tricky. It's a lovely medieval town in Switzerland with campus facilities all around, beautiful and modern, and where the students can really take advantage of the networking also between different programs. And all the facilities also in terms of sports, activities, associations. So we have this double experience, the flagship, really kind of experiencing the what people will experience also in the luxury companies on one side, and the academic kind of American Swiss campus, very warm and lively among students in Bulle. But Marine maybe can tell you something about it.
Yes, absolutely. During my first semester, which means last semester, I was in Glion. And of course, there was still the first month, which was online. So the experience was a bit different than as it is today in Bulle. But the Glion experience is more like, let's say, a cocoon family, because you are higher in the mountain. As Nicoletta said, it's a bit harder to move around, but at the same time, it's the moment where you create the most connections with your classmates and with the other students around. And now that I am in Bulle, it's totally bigger. It means that you are with BBA students from several semesters, you're able to interact with other master students and to create a bigger networking committee as well, and to interact more with the students around, and also to have this kind of village life in Bulle where you have a lot of things to do. You're able to go for walks, there's a lot of activities, some restaurants, and you're kind of close as well to other cities, as well as in Glion. Of course, both are very different cities or villages, towns, how can I say that, and both have their own charisma. So having both is a really great experience, and it's really, Switzerland is a very nice country to study.
And then, of course, we have, you know, everything we do in the middle, which is, of course, teaching classes, you know, they takes place in both. And a big accent, a strong accent on networking and connections that we obtain, first of all, with these teachers who are coming from the field, from the professional world. Secondly, also, thanks to the business field trip and the luxury event. We call it not study trip, you know, mind the label, but business field trip, because it is really, and it is my, I can say, my duty and my task, and the difficult duty that I have, because, you know, it really requires to take my portfolio out and, you know, like a gambler, taking all the cards out, which I usually do. You will see a little bit later. But providing contacts, appointments with the companies in order to try and speak and show yourself directly in person to the HR, which makes a difference compared to when you just, you know, simply deliver a CV and that needs to stand out among 1,000 other CV. This is the difficult task of the career service. They are excellent in this, but if we have the field trip and the projects with companies that can help. Speaking about projects with companies, also in terms of networking, maybe Jackie can tell you a little bit more about what happened recently with Dior. And I can tell you more, and Marine also can tell you a bit about a project that we are having right now with Loro Piana. Loro Piana is a company that provided the fabric of my jacket. And it is the most luxurious manufacturer of cashmere and vicuña and other luxurious fabrics in the world. And we had the honor and the pleasure of starting a brand new project with them this year. And then, of course, there is the luxury event, which is completely organized by the students. That provides, you know, first of all, a form of exercise in organizing something, and also, you know, hitting the reality that sometimes can be a little bit hard, but it's a good school, you know. And also, of course, you know, networking, because in order to realize this, you need to get in touch with companies and really try and put in place what you have learned theoretically in class. In the end,
so Nicoletta, just sorry for jumping in. So we do have some more information regarding the field trip and the connection to the industry in the next few slides. But just to give, you know, everyone on the line the right picture of the structure of the program, so they know, you know, that it's a 1.5-year program. So perhaps can you take us quickly through the different semester, what the hospitality immersion program is? And then we will move on to the field trip, so, you know, they have the full picture.
Okay, so the first 4 weeks are optional, but I warmly recommend them to those who are lacking of an experience in hospitality, which are, by the way, you know, most of the students, because I like to have students from every kind of background. Marine also has a different background. She doesn't have a background in hospitality. What is your background, Marine, by the way?
So basically, I studied fashion business in Paris before coming to Glion. And as well as Nicoletta said, I did the immersion program before entering in Glion, because I was not aware of the hospitality industry itself, or like how it works, or all the different fields, because I had a different knowledge. So my decision to take part of this was actually one of the best experiences I did in my life, because it's a 4-week experience. You are able to experience in every week a different sector. So you have the kitchen, the service, the wine, the tasting, and room division and housekeeping. And this is very intense and short, but at the same time you get to know new students next to you, will maybe be in your masters or maybe in different masters. You get to know the environment, and this is all taking part in Glion, so you get to be in the Glion environment, and also discovering new things and getting to learn it, as well also challenge yourself a lot, because it's a lot of stress and you learn a lot during this 4 weeks. So if you're not aware about this program, I would totally suggest you to try it out, and you will not regret it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because the point is that this is not a hospitality master, okay? But the philosophy is the one of hospitality, so sense of service, sense of detail, orientation to detail, and through, you know, excellence in every single aspect of what you're doing. So people and my personal network and the network we developed together also with Jacquie for the program is more into luxury retail, personal luxury goods. Also because if you know the master in hospitality, it's another one. But what you can learn in hospitality, the sense in the end, namely in the HIP and the hospitality immersion program, you can totally use it in the stores. And while getting related to your customer in the luxury world. Then the semester one will see together in a short while what are the different subjects that you're going to learn, and it will depend a little bit also on the condition on this ongoing pandemic, but that is about to be over thanks to the vaccination and the use of safety measures that we totally apply in the campus. The business field trip will take place in semester 1 or 2. It depends a little bit on the conditions so far of the pandemic. And then in semester 2, you're going to have luxury event. Glion or Bulle, it depends on when are you starting. Usually, for instance, Marine has started in Glion and she moved this September to Bulle. Of course, I have my students from semester 1, 80 students, great success. They have started now in Bulle and they will move to Glion in next semester, which means by February or March. The official start of the semester is in March. Then, so it depends what time of the year you start the program, if you start in Glion or in Bulle. Of course, ask your counselor exactly where you have to go. And then semester 3, you're going to choose between an internship, which is the main choice of every student coming to the master. So, and you must start preparing your internship, if you will, on day 1 with the help of the beautiful team of Jacquie, because otherwise it is going to be a difficult task. All of the students who are now in semester 3, they have an internship. I'm very happy and proud of it. So it means that we do a terrific job in terms of team with a career service. Thank you very much, Jacquie. But of course, you need to start working on it on day 1, especially on your CV, because the officers from the team of Jacquie, they know very well that I always ask to have the CV book as soon as possible to start sharing with the company. So it's very important to have a 1-page CV and ready and beautiful as soon as possible. But if you have a little experience, if you have a family company, or for other reasons, you want to take a business research project, which is a final thesis, let's say a master thesis, of course, you can choose, and instead of having the internship, you can totally do the business research project. And after this, if you have completed everything and you have all of your credits, you will get your sought after diploma. We can go to the next slide, please. So semester 1, after possibly the hospitality immersion program, which is, I repeat, optional, but warmly recommended to really get the philosophy, the overall philosophy behind the program. You will have economics and sociology of luxury with me, a very tough teacher. Am I a tough teacher, Marine?
No, you're just a teacher who should be a teacher. It's just being straight and forward and knowing what you want from your students. So that's the way it is.
Thank you. They are my beloved class. They are a beautiful class. I love them. And business trends in luxury hotel resorts and events with Mariana Palmero, an amazing professional, very much experience. She has a global experience and she's an expert of spas, so beautiful hotels all around the world. high gastronomy and fine dining. So because the old name was gastronomy, fine wines and spirits, but I believe it's totally kind of outdated, because I'm pretty much, I want to follow trends everywhere, which is the goal. Innovation is the goal and the reason of being of luxury, and innovation is now, yes, spirits, wine, etc., but we need to go over a little bit, you know. Now we are in mocktails, alternative drinks, and the what we need to understand, it's really the spirit of high gastronomy and fine dining, so everything that turns around this. What was your experience, Marine, for this course, even if it has another name?
Yes, absolutely. The high gastronomy class is actually a practical class where you were able to share with your classmates during 1 week the same environments as you may have tried during the HAY program. So one day you were in the kitchen, one day you were doing the service, one day you were trying out some very nice luxury wines as well as cognacs. You were able to discover the bar universe. So it's like a very little and short and intense overview of the gastronomy world, which is actually very interesting because you get to touch a bit of everything, and you also get to get closer with your classmates because it's a practical part, so you have teamwork to do, you have to count on each other, and that's very important in the industry as well as in the future of your career.
And you still have a very nice relationship with your teacher.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Chantal Whitman was the manager of the Bellevue restaurant before, and now it's changed to Maison des Cotters. And she went to Alain Ducasse in Paris, and we still have very nice relationships with Chantal.
But we will perhaps have a surprise in the future with Chantal. And ultra luxury travel and experiences with Stanislas Helou, who is an alumnus from Glion. Luxury fashion and design with a professional who used to work for LVMH and for Moschino and other fashion companies. Service culture and operational excellence with Nadia Kerlishan, a professional who used to work for Clarins, for Moet Chandon, and other beautiful companies. Design thinking, Adolfo Martini, from a professional who spent 20 years at L'Oréal. Marketing is, we have a concentration then in marketing and brand management, building brand equity, Eleonora Cattaneo, super experience from Desda Bocconi in the past, experiential economics with Dr. Anna Snell from from Holland, digital transformation and data analytics, Mathieu Tranvan from Google. Okay, learning from in data analytics from Google doesn't happen every day, I believe. Marine, I have Badr, who, by the way, is one of the slides. There is a beautiful picture in the slides before. There was a picture of Badr. He told me that this was his favorite class because you had a very hard time, but very, very, I can say, fruitful, and in the end, successful.
Absolutely, this class was very interesting because, of course, we do have teachers who are from the field itself, and sometimes they are from more different diversified industries. And having somebody who's from Google was actually, everybody knows Google. It's very interesting to get to know people who worked in those industries and were able to share the experiences. And each class has its specificities and able to share with you some internal experiences, which is actually increasing your personal experience in doing the master.
Then digital marketing in the luxury industry, again, a beautiful professional who was one of the first webmaster for Max Mara when I didn't even understand what a webmaster actually was doing many years ago. And then intercultural leadership, it depends. Sometimes I need to change of a teacher depending on the availabilities, but usually it is Dr. Michel Miei, a doctor with a doctorate on Harvard. Otherwise, recently I had a beautiful professionals signaled given by Michel, who is a super experienced manager who has been managing companies and making business all around the world. So it's to understand how do you deal with different cultures and try to put your own culture into perspective and understand which is that is not the only one in the world, and being able to talk and exchange with everybody. So a very important class for the cosmopolitan spirit of Glion, as you can imagine, when we welcome people literally from all around the world. In the program, I don't have anybody from Oceania, but I work for it. So I will soon have hopefully someone from Australia or New Zealand. So we can talk about sailing, which is one of my favorite sports. And then in semester 2, we're going to have a concentration on luxury experience and innovation with sustainable luxury and design, Francesca Romana Rinaldi, against someone who is a super expert, Dr. Francesca Romana Rinaldi, who is a super expert in sustainability since she was a young kind of hacker, and now she is a teacher in Bocconi University as well. Blockchain in the luxury and hospitality industries. This, so far, you will never ever find another master in luxury with a class in blockchain. Maybe after they will start opening, but to my knowledge, so far, I'm the only one. Because I started seeing this in 2020, so with Andy Rabetanetri, who is an expert in blockchain and all of this kind of tokenization, etc., who is also an amazing teacher. Business research methods with me, because you need to understand how to do a proper research method that you can apply to everything, even to the luxury event, isn't it, Marina?
Yes, it is, to the luxury event and to the field trip as well, because we have to prepare our research to be able to take it into consideration during the field trip. So it's a very interesting class concerning for yourself if you want to do research later on, or how to learn more about research itself.
And impactful design for retail and hospitality with the real architect who is designing, you know, stores and other beautiful architectures in Paris, in Italy, and all around the world. Retail management, again with Nadia, but it's a very important class for us because the first step of one of the most important steps if you want to go for a luxury career is going through retail, passing through retail. Maybe you want to become general manager, you will become general manager, but it takes a little time. And before, you need to go to retail. You need to understand the customer, her needs, her feelings, and the product, and Marine as well. You know, even if she didn't follow yet the class of retail management, but you have an experience in retail, isn't it?
Yes, I do. Before being in the master's, I had a retail experience at Louis Vuitton, and actually, as Nicoletta said, to be able to grow or to know what you want to do later, you need to have the basic experience in the retail industry by being a simple client advisor. But at the same time, it's not that easy, it's not that simple, because you have a lot of responsibilities and towards the customer and your team. So it's a nice way to start within the luxury industry or any kind of industry to get to know what you would like to do later, and also to know the basic human needs.
And by the way, keep in mind that Bernard Arnault, who is the president, founder, and owner of the largest group in the world, LVMH, with more than 70 brands and the largest capitalization in France, which is one of the most important in Europe, he goes personally every Saturday to one of his stores in Paris to check and to see what happens in retail. So this is the importance of retail and luxury. Behavioral aspects of customer engagement, once again connected with retail, because it's very important to understand what happens in our brain. So it's kind of behavioral marketing, but focused on the relationship with customer. And then we have a part which is more classical of a business school. So we have strategic management of luxury brands with Mr. Nicola Cirilli, who is, by the way, also teacher of business models. Nicola Cirilli is a super experienced manager coming from Stellantis group, so now Fiat Chrysler plus Peugeot Citroën, and he's now the head of a startup in mobility owned by the group Stellantis. Corporate finance and value creation, again with an amazing company which is Mazars. Mazars is the official auditing company both from LVMH and Kering, and by the way from Goldman Sachs. So it is not one of the big four, but let me say that it is quite big and knowledgeable. So when you have your, in your class of finance, you talk about the Tiffany acquisition, you have it by people who actually helped LVMH in acquiring Tiffany. So it's not it's not something that happens every day once again. Legal environment of the luxury industries. This is not a course that you just had, Marine.
Yes, exactly. It's the class we had last week, which was unfortunately online because the teacher was currently in Australia, but it's a very interesting class to know about all about the copyright, the patents, and the authorships about the brands and how to create your own brand and all those kind of important things that are kind of hidden behind everything. So it's good to be aware and to know how to focus on that.
And she's super experienced. She works currently with luxury companies, giving, she's a lawyer, so she's quite knowledgeable. And last but not least, talent management, which you have this morning already.
Yes, absolutely. It's a class we started this morning, and it's by far now one of my favorite classes because it's a class that is very important because it concerns HR, human resources, and talent management. And you can basically see how important it is to have human resources that focus on the creation of the people working at the company and everything it is behind. And I'm looking forward to hear more about this class.
And it is held by Cecilia Peverelli, who is now working for YNAB, Yux Net-a-Porter, so for the Richmond group, but she was starting in McKinsey and then went to LVMH, and for years she was the director of development at Louis Vuitton, Europe, Middle East, and Africa. So she's quite, as you can imagine, knowledgeable in managing talents in luxury. And last but not least,
just to be very conscious of the time, can we please go briefly over the field trip? You talked about it earlier, and then we move on to the guest lecturer, and then we can give a bit of time to Jacquie to talk about Career Internships.
Absolutely. So the field trip, it was actually a double one because the class again, was a double class. So September intake 2020, they were 60, divided into two groups because we take care about, keeping classes small in order to provide a best experience. I decided, since it was July for, COVID reasons, we took the trip as late as possible in order to avoid COVID restrictions, etc. Actually, we had two before because we had one in Geneva. Now we will have only one, but let's say only Rome. It's really, I live in Paris. I feel, even if I'm Italian, I feel I'm a Parisian, but Rome, it is really one of the most amazing cities in the world, where you see luxury, you breathe luxury everywhere. First of all, in the Hotel Baglioni, in which we were, full of marble everywhere. I had the most luxurious showers of my life, I would say. And we had, an amazing, the Richmond group was really providing many contacts, thanks to Maurizio Bodano, the head HR for Italy and Greece. We visited Buccellati, meeting one of the heirs. They have sold the company to Richmond, but we had honor and pride to meet Mr. Filippo Buccellati. We had this absolutely stunning and amazing and unbelievable experience that was the private visit of the Vatican Museum. I would thanks once again Sara Buranelli, who provided the contact in the Vatican, and it was really, I did understand what the Stendhal syndrome is, because believe me, going in the Cappella Sistina with just a few students and not with all the crowd, it is something that really you are speechless, breathless, and you do understand what Stendhal was saying. Then we went to Ferrari because the students had the possibility to meet online first my personal and good and old friend Nicola Boari, who is the head of the brand diversification in Ferrari. So when they open stores and any other project is Nicola. So they have studied this into the brand management course. And then we went to see Nicola in person in Maranello, having a tour of Ferrari. And then the students were the luxury event was taking place during the field trip. because it was at the end of the academic year, and we had a luxury networking cocktail. We had it twice, so it was in two amazing places. Once it was in the Casina Valadier, which was an historical place in Rome, and the other one was in a brand new hotel in Rome with an absolutely amazing view on the Foro Imperiale, something that I believe it's, you know, will remain in all of our hearts and experience and memory of luxury and life.
Do you have anything to add, Marin, because you participated at some of these field trips?
Yes, absolutely. I am happy to share that we have the experience to go to Geneva and to have a personalized visit to l'Europiana and as well as Constantin and Vacheron. And it was a really great experience to have like little overview of what's coming in 2 weeks in Paris. And it's really amazing to have this kind of exclusive visits and getting to know more brands, and being on the field itself is totally different than having the classes. So the combination of both is really amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marin. So now, very briefly, Nicoletta, just you mentioned most of the guest lecturers, but really, how good it is that, you know, all of these guest lecturers are connected to the industry.
So I told you already about Tiziana Tini here, digital communication. So who was the brand manager, the web manager of Marina Rinaldi, which is one of the brands of Max Mara. She was my student in the University of Bologna. And then she immediately found a job in Max Mara, and she developed afterward as a consultant in digital. She was working also for Luisa Via Roma, which is an historical concept store of Florence, one of the first one developing e-commerce. And now she's a consultant for many important, very important luxury brands, also French, etc., in everything that is digital. She realized with the students one of the first luxury events during the pandemic that was a webinar about gaming, you know, when people just started thinking or hearing about, you know, gaming and, you know, brands developing collections, pop-out collections just for Fortnite, etc.
So Nicoletta is frozen, and it's been way too long now. So perhaps, Marin, you can share your experience on how good it is for you to be connected to the industry with guest lecturers coming from the industry.
I think there's no more complete experience than having teachers who are coming from several industries and able to share their own experience, because it really enriches you and the class itself, because you always want to know the input, what did they do before, how it is to be today. So literally the theoretical classes are one part, but having the real life experience and combo of both is just really enriching and procuring you a different knowledge that you're really able to apply in your everyday life.
Thank you, Marin. And it's time to move on to Jacquie. Nicoletta, if you're still with us somewhere and you can hear us, I hand over to Jacquie now, and then hopefully you can come back for the Q&A at the end. So Jacquie, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Laurie. Welcome everybody. My name is Jacquie Lutz. I'm head of career and internships. I'm going to talk to you very briefly about internships and careers. I know it's already been touched on a little bit. So I think I would reiterate one of the very first things that Nicoletta said in her presentation is the personalized service that we give to all students. We have a dedicated team on both our Glion and our London campuses, so Glion and Bulle, our Swiss campuses, and our London campus, taking care of all our students, each and every one. One of the most experienced members of our team is specially devoted to master students. Reason being, these students come from such varied backgrounds and are at further advanced levels in their careers. They need quite specific advice and guidance, and this is why we have the most experienced of our team members taking care of them personally. If we look at what services we provide to all our students, You see the figure 250 here, 250 plus. It actually refers to the number of companies who have been coming onto our campus on a yearly basis, onto our campuses rather, on a yearly basis to recruit directly within the framework of company visits and more recently recruitment days. So once per semester we hold a recruitment day. There are no classes taking place. The events encompass the entire school, and we'll talk a little bit more about that specifically with the help of Marine in a little while. We also have a portal, so it acts as a repository for all our addresses, our contacts within the industry, as well as all the internship offers that come in, as well as all the CVs of all the students who are looking for an internship or graduating from our school. So a very important tool for us, specific to our school, and a super easy to use, useful tool for connecting with the industry and finding positions for our students. On the portal, we see on average, in an average year, and I know we're not talking average years right now, but in an average year, we have around about 7.5 internship offers per student available. So I think you can see there is a huge variety of positions coming in. Obviously, not every position available for every student. We cover different specializations, we cover different levels. We're talking about PPE 1 to masters. So I would say on the whole, this is the number of offers per student. Let's move on, Laurie. So looking a little bit more in detail in the Career Internship portal. Marine, tell us your experience of the portal. How do you use it? Give us a brief introduction to this tool that we have for all our students.
Of course, we have this Career Internship portal, which is called Simplicity, and this is a very nice portal because you're able to access to the platform and having different overviews to several job offers that Glion is able to provide you. You're also able to download and give the CV to get a feedback of it, as well as the motivation letters. So the whole team is here to follow you and to give you advices. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask them. They're really super friendly and nice to be able to help you and to find what suits you the best. If you're unsure of what you're looking for, just get in touch with them. They will try to find out what's the best for you. And this platform is very easy to use. You just have to click on it and apply. Sometimes you need a motivation letter, sometimes you don't. And of course, they change every single week. You have new job offers, you have some who get expired. It's very easy to use, and you're also able to have it on your phone. So it's very easy during the day just to scroll to look what's updated, if there's changes or not.
Great, Marine, you've given a very quick and thorough summary of the portal. Indeed, all our students have their CV on this portal once the CV has been approved by a member of the team. And as Nicoletta pointed out, we will do this very quickly for you once you join the school. It's vital, and your program is short, huh? You're not here for very long. You have 2 events to make the most of, and you need to be creating those internship opportunities and those windows and those connections right from day one. So really important to have your CV, have it approved, have it on the portal where it can be accessed by employers as well, I hasten to add. So 3 interfaces: employer, school, student, all the internship offers, all the addresses that you will need. And as Marine has very clearly explained, you can even have on your phone alerts that come in where you wake up one morning and see that your dream job has come in, and before you even get out of bed, you can click the apply button, isn't that right, Marine, and apply for your dream job. So really Absolutely. Easy to use for students. So a great tool for us and for you. Laurie, please. Glion Connect and Recruit. So this is our online event. It replaces what was a face-to-face on-campus meeting of up to 100 companies twice per year, where all the students were coming from both Swiss campuses. London had their own event with the online program. The beauty is that all campuses, all students have equal access. So number of companies coming. We have our biggest event ever coming up. We have so far 96, I think, booths filled. Some booths contain several companies under the heading, for example, of Marriott, which is an enormous company. We have luxury companies coming. We have finance companies coming. We try and cover all our specializations and to have something for everyone. So the event will take place on the 2nd of November. It will take place from 8 in the morning to 8 in the evening. This is to accommodate students who may be connecting remotely, companies who are connecting from all around the world, and a great day for everyone. No class is taking place to enable every student to really make the most of making those connections, starting to build their network, taking offers, taking interviews rather, hopefully receiving offers, and a really successful event coming up for us in November. Laurie.
Thank you,
Nicoletta,
Jacquie.
back to you. Thank you.
We are running a bit late, so I will go very briefly over the entry requirement. So obviously today we don't have any counselor on the line with us, so we can't really answer any particular question regarding your visa or your personal situation. You can find those entry requirements on the website as well at www.glion.edu. So this is really the overall information, but we really give one-on-one personalized advice for every and each of you. So if you have any question regarding the application process, your personal situation, your experience, your visa situation, please go on the website, fill a contact form, and someone will be able to help you. So I think it's time to move on to the Q&A. You had a lot of information already, but if you have any more questions, just hit the chat. I actually have already a few questions waiting to be answered. So a question about the luxury events. So Nicoletta, it might be for you. Is it a group project, or each student has to do something in particular on its own?
No, it is totally a group project that has to be delivered by the whole class. And it is about running a project. That's why I also try and give some skills about how to deliver, how to constitute before delivering a project in also business research project, because even if it's about research, but then of course there is a part of research prior to every kind of project you want to deliver. Because it has to be full of culture, you need to have a background, etc. And in the end, it is something practical. Marine, can you please let the candidates or the public know what you have in mind? And of course, there is a distance between, or what you imagine and what you can actually deliver.
Absolutely. I think what Nicoletta is trying to tell is that we have to work as a big class. We have to incorporate the remote students and students on campus, which is actually huge work, because now we're currently trying to focus on our event, which we would like to do a small event in Maison des Cotels in Glion. And you have to try to come up with committees and set different groups to make everything happen. So it's a lot of work, it's a lot of meetings, a lot of discussion until something is coming to a point. And we are all dreaming of doing something amazing, and we hope that it's going to work and we will have a nice event in December.
I say that there is a distance between reality and because in the past with the pandemic, of course, we could not deliver events, and we did something else like webinar or the cocktail during the field trip, etc. But it's part of the game,
Thank you. Next question. So for both, again, Nicoletta and Marine, can you please give us an idea of the timetable? So roughly how many hours per week, how many days per week? Yes, so let's start with that, and then I move on to the second part of the question.
So the course is delivered in block teaching. It's intense and it's requiring. But block teaching allows people from all around Europe, at least, and sometimes from the world, to come and teach you, because you would not be able to have professionals from France, from Italy, from Singapore, if we hadn't block teaching. So it's intense, I can understand, but it's the only condition to have these amazing professionals we have, and academics as well, from all around the world. Then Marine, maybe you can tell a little bit more about the average day or the average week, because also this semester it was changing a little bit.
Yes, so basically every week we have a different class and different teachers. So depending on the teachers' availability on the campus, we have between 15 and 20 hours of classes. So which can be all compressed into free. For example, this week I have all the classes full days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And I have another class on Thursday, so it's all due because the teacher is just there for a specific time. But at the same time, besides the 15 to 20 hours of class, you have to work on your project, so you have to have a good time management and organization to be able to find time for your social life and for your assignment as well.
Which is what happens in real life, by the way, yeah? Where we all work.
It's a nice introduction to what's going to happen after doing our internship or even after as well.
And what about the assignment? So is it every week or once a semester? Can you give us more information on that?
Yes, so basically the assignments, let's say every week we have in-class group projects that you have to work at home, and you have presentations during the class itself. So for each class, we usually have a group assignment and an individual assignment. At the same time, sometimes everything is due for the same week. Sometimes you have a bit more time to hand them in. It all depends how the teacher is willing to organize the class. But every week you have to work on the program we have.
Thank you, Maureen.
Thank you. Anything to add, Nicoletta, or shall we move on to the next question?
No, you know, my students are amazing. So, and this is she's the proof that we form very well the students. We educate them very well, you know. So
she's ready for the professional life. She can take our job already. Jacquie, a question for you from Yiping. So she would like to find a job in a luxury hotel. So basically, could you give us more information on what the career opportunities are after a master in luxury management and guest experience? Maybe Nicoletta, you can jump in as well.
Certainly. So I think it will also very much depend on what your base, where you're coming from, what your background is. Again, we've talked about the HIP program, the importance of having a practical experience. So if you don't have a practical experience, I would really advise you to take advantage of our HIP program. That might economize you a certain number of months on graduation or in an internship that will give you the prior experience. I always like to compare a career to building a house. You cannot start with the doors, the windows, the wallpaper, the pictures. You have to start with a foundation. You have to build a very solid foundation. And if you want a career, to build your career in hospitality, it's a tough world, it's a competitive world. You need to be solid. You need to have a good base, a good understanding. You need to have basically been there and done that. If you're going to be leading people in the future, you need to understand what they are doing at grassroots level and what is going on in a hotel. You cannot run a hotel or manage a department until you've been doing the basics. So depending on what your experience is, you can hope to either have a role in an operational position, which I would also actually advise as a great way to enter a company. It's a fallacy to think you come out of a master's and you can go in to be a manager. You will not manage, you will not get that role. And even if you do, you will be managing people who've been in that company 10, 15 years, and they will be delighted to see you trip up and fall over. Your best way to succeed, and look at graduating from medical school. You're not going to be a top surgeon. You're going to start off by putting plasters on and giving out aspirates, about all I could do actually. But you're going to start off with the basics and very quickly grow. And this is the same in hospitality, and in luxury hospitality even more so. You will start with the basics. You need to understand, let's say you go into, I don't know, a Four Seasons company. You need to understand who the customers are. You need to understand the protocols. You need to understand how the business functions and the company culture. You can't do that at management level. You will do that at an operational level, but very quickly you will grow into those management roles with your background of a luxury master's degree. Does that answer the question?
I hope so.
I would just add just a little word, because Jackie was just talking about luxury hospitality. It's the same for retail and personal luxury goods. So companies like Louis Vuitton, Christian Dior, which are not hotel company, but it's exactly the same. Also, it is a money maker. So you are likely to start. You have places in marketing, also in retail. You have places in HR. You know, Louis Vuitton, for instance, is one of the few companies they have HR inside every store. You know, the so-called team leaders. So, but you need to start with the foundation. Absolutely, it's absolutely. I couldn't agree more on the words of Jackie, or what Jackie said.
Thank you both. Jacquie, still, do we have any contact in the Middle East, for internship? So again, I'm sure you will explain that it's available, but it depends on your visa situation.
Well, in the Middle East is somewhere which is actually reasonably open to all nationalities. So it's a really great place to start. And yes, the Middle East is definitely growing. In terms of hospitality, it is booming. There is currently Dubai, the Expo. There will be the World Cup in Qatar next year. There is a lot going on in Middle Eastern hospitality. In terms of luxury, it is also luxury retail. It is a huge market as well. So there are lots of opportunities there. And for once, I can say it doesn't necessarily depend on your nationality, because it's such an expat community that most nationalities will find they can get a visa to go there.
Yeah, and personally, I can say I got a lot of students who are now in Dubai or Middle East. I got contacts with the HR. So, you know, we work with the team of Louis Vuitton, Europe, Middle East, Africa, for instance. I got the HR from Bulgaria there. So, you know, no problems for contacts. Middle East with great pleasure.
Great. So now we go back to the very beginning. Do we need to, does the potential students on the line with us today need to have a specific background or other than a bachelor to join the program?
No, I like diversity. Luxury needs and loves diversity. If you take a look on LinkedIn on what is published by Richmond, by Caring, by LVMH, they all focus on diversity as much as they can. Inclusion, of course, diversity and inclusion are the keywords now. And this was always my policy since always, because, you know, I like to have different backgrounds in the program. So I had architects, I had people from political science, I had people from fashion like Marine, I have people, of course, from hospitality. One, for instance, a case I always mention, it is in business school, but it doesn't matter because my criteria has always been the same. A student who was studying philosophy, and she managed to be a successful marketing manager in Acqua di Parma in perfumes, you know. So and she came to a business school, can you believe it? And but I said, but philosophy, she works on concepts, so she will be also able to learn about economics and finance. And she was, you know, and she now works in Moleskine, by the way. She moved from Acqua di Parma, you know. So absolutely no problem. The main point is passion, really, and also you don't need to be a fashion or luxury victim, because you need to be a professional. You need to sell, not to buy. Okay, so you will switch from buying perhaps to selling. What is your opinion in this, Marine? What do you suggest?
Yes, I can 100% follow you on that part, because if I take my class as an example, we almost all have a different background, and it's so enriching for you and for Nicoletta and all our teachers. They love getting to know us, because each of us is passionate about something else and has something to add more in every single discussion or even the projects. Like, it's really crazy, if I can say that, and amazing to be able to work with so many nationalities and so many different backgrounds, because I think we will never be able to have this experience somewhere else that as intense as it is here in Glion.
Thank you. And last question is for Marine. So how would you describe the student environment in 3 words? It's very specific.
That's a very tough question. 3 words. Okay, let's say it's diversified. It is all about the spirit of Glion, and it is amazing. That's how I would describe the Glion experience on campus as well in Bulle as in Glion, because you really have many things to do. If I may add, Laurie, there's a lot of events happening in Bulle. There's different committees as well as the Masters Committee, which has been created last semester. So really trying to as well to enhance the campus life of our students, VBAs and Master students, to make this a bigger experience and to create bigger connections between us and the people we meet every single day in the corridor, in the town, and as well with the teachers.
Thank you, Marine. An incredible student experience indeed. It's now time to close the session. I'm sorry if we haven't answered your question. So I invite you to go on the website to ask more questions. As I mentioned earlier, we have the contact form, or if you're ready to apply, you can also just start filling the application form. In both cases, a counselor will be in touch and will be to help you to answer your personal question or take you through the application process. We have a lot of information on our website about the student life as well. You can also reach out to our student ambassadors in all 3 campuses and get in touch with them by email or Instagram. So there are plenty of options for you to get in touch. So do get in touch. Thank you to our panelists today, Nicoletta, Jacquie, and Marine. It was great hearing so much information and your experience, Marine. Thank you to you on the line. We hope to see you very soon on campus. I wish you all a lovely day, and again, see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Laurie. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you soon. Bye.